Hi everyone, welcome to another Mind Blower construction update here at Fun Spot Kissimmee. My name is Jim with WildGravityTravels.com, and we're taking a look at the current progress on Mind Blower here. Currently taking a look at the station, coming along nicely. We can actually see some platforms for where guests will come up to the station now, and you can see the turn being nearly complete coming out of, or the structure for the turn being nearly complete coming out of the station. Here on the ground, we actually have some roof pieces sitting. There's some arched, angled roof style pieces that you'd expect to see for any type of roof. Those are gonna go up on these white poles. And then once we get above that, we will be looking at the barrel roll feature of the ride. Now in the background there, we'll take several looks at it as there's been lots going on around the site this past week. But there in the distance where you see some of that higher wood, that's actually the beginnings of the lift hill. We're actually now seeing the start of the lift hill coming along really nicely. As I said, they've done a lot over the past week. We've even gotten a taller section over here. That's for the double down element, where the ride will actually go through 2 drops at the same time. And they're just getting ready to move some work around here, move some stuff around as they open the gate, so we're gonna watch that happen. And then we'll be moving on to the update. Another cool thing that happened in the past week is we got the start of the 90-degree bank turn there off in the distance, and we'll definitely be taking a much closer look at that coming up. So here now, taking a closer up look at the station, we can see lots of cross beams in place for basically the station platform, if you will. Basically like building a giant porch in the sky. You could also see some woodwork that we were showing you last week for the pathways, trackside pathways, the track bases actually starting to go into place here as we take a look through the fence at that. Lots of great developments coming along as we see more trackside pathway all the way down the re-entry into the station platform, and just several great updates going on right here at the moment as the station continues to progress very, very, very quickly. So here we see now from this angle, they've actually gotten some wood, probably for track work or platform work, up there on the station area. And again, taking a look at a lot more work going on down through here. We see a lot of development. We have the trackside pathway sitting waiting for installation, railings going in all along the track, and just lots of development in the past week for sure. We're even seeing some lower elements now actually starting to get put in right here. Some lower supports. That'll be for like a valley of a hill. This could actually even be the valley actually of the first drop. It's got a lot of support structure right there. So most likely is the first drop on the coaster. So looking through the fence here, we actually on the other side see the double down. We'll take a closer look at that in a moment. But as we approach this way and come across at that track work we've been showing you that crosses the footprint, we actually see now that this will be the 90-degree bank turn, which we showed you from a distance. This is a little closer up look at it. Here we see all the platform work going on in that, and actually almost already to the 90-degree banked angle of the coaster right here. So to give you an idea of what we've been looking at so far here at Fun Spot Kissimmee with Mind Blower, first up is that station area right here, and we've been seeing that roof structure getting ready to come in. That's about where that green crane was sitting already, and after that, like I said, we'll be going into the barrel roll element, which is right here. Now what we're looking at right now, just now with the 90-degree bank turn, is actually down on the other end of the footprint, and that is right here. Where we're seeing the lift and that first drop go in is right here. This is probably about as far as we've been completed with the first drop. And then the first drop, actually, that's the lift. Then the first drop is gonna be right here. And that's the close to the groundwork we've been seeing so far. Taking one final look from inside of Fun Spot, inside the park here. This again, just looking at that 90-degree angle and the poles that are currently the highest over here in this corner. As we take a look around right here, it's amazing the difference a few weeks makes. Sorry about all the noise, there's a lot of groups in the park today. Still a lot more structure to be installed, and we'll discuss that on the other side where it's a little quieter in just a moment. A quick check-in on Hot Seat, the scream and swing that was removed to make way for Mind Blower, and its relocation status. This week we've noticed the installation of the 2 air compressors for the scream and swing Hot Seat. We showed you the footers a couple weeks ago, and now we're actually seeing further development with the installation of the 2 air compressors, and looks like the power supply unit there on the side. So definitely a great development for Hot Seat making its return to Fun Spot Kissimmee. So from outside the park now, this is a really cool angle to capture for the 90-degree banked turn. We can actually see the angled wood there, almost at the vertical angle for the 90-degree turn, where you will turn around after experiencing the double down. That will be, so basically here, the way the ride's gonna go is you see this double down here against the parking lot edge that we've been showing you, right next to where vertical construction actually started. And it will cross over the footprint and come up here into this 90-degree bank turn. Now off in the distance there, we do see the start of that lift hill again. This is a good angle of that. So we're actually gonna see the lift hill come all the way over to this side of the footprint. It's gonna make a really tight turn and take that first drop into where we showed you those low-lying supports. So here we're getting a little closer up look of the double down element. Now when I say double down element, for those of you who don't know what that is, basically it's a drop, a brief level off, and then another drop, whereas a regular drop would be all the way down, completing the drop in one motion. This actually has a point where it levels off. It makes for a little extra airtime, a little boost. So there is the close look at the double down, and then again, it will just cross the footprint right here, all the way over to that 90-degree bank turn right there. So lots of great angles to be had now that we're seeing a lot more track work, a lot more supports go up. And these are actually, those tall supports we showed you last week were the start of the peak of that double down element. And we'll get a look from the other side of those looking back, a final track overview, and then we will be off to the supply lot as always. So one final look at the site here from Fun Spot Kissimmee for Mind Blower. We see the station platform. This is actually the turn coming out of the station platform right here. And there's the station with the supports for the roof structure. We'll show you the roof structure on the ground here in just a second. And then this will actually be the start of the lift hill going up right here. Now off in the distance there, if you look really, really closely, we see some of those low-lying supports. Those are really hard to make out looking through all of the other what appears to be tangled steel throughout the structure. And that is actually the first drop that will come down and go right back up over, almost over the station area there as it goes through the barrel roll. And taking a final look, this is the most underdeveloped area of the construction site currently, as we see the lack of any vertical construction work. This was the last area to get developed, of course, with the removal of Hot Seat. And taking one final look at those roof structures, these are definitely the roof for the station. We see 5 here, and we see 10 beams to hold the roof structure up there. So this will conclude our look at the site. Coming up next, we'll take a look over at the supply lot, where there's been lots arriving and lots going on over there. Taking a look at the supply lot to wrap up our update on Mind Blower here at Fun Spot Kissimmee. We see a lot more arrival of wood, including like 2x4x12. This is definitely a sign that more wood structure, more wood work will be happening in the coming weeks here ahead for the construction site. And down here on the corner, we see almost just a pile of scraps, of scrap wood that they've been cutting out and working on as they measure and get the right size pieces for the project. So again, a lot more wood arriving, a lot more steel pieces arriving, but we're seeing a lot of those steel pieces almost go instantly to the site. They've actually moved a lot of the steel pieces over to a side lot, kind of adjacent to where the original supply lot is. Sorry if I'm walking a little too fast, the fence is making anybody dizzy. Just trying to get down for a full view of the lot here. And there off in the distance, we actually see where we see the crane moving is where they moved a lot of that steel structure, sorted it out by size, it appears. And there off in the distance, we see the pieces of the Scream and Swing Hot Seat that, we expect to not be sitting there much longer with the addition of the compressors to its new site. The footers are completed, and then here up close we just see that scrap wood that we've been talking about, where they've been cutting the pieces to what they need. So that'll wrap up things here from Fun Spot in Kissimmee for our Mind Blower update. My name is Jim from wildgravitytravels.com. Be sure to check out the link to the post if you're watching this in YouTube for our still picture update with lots of great pictures of everything we've been taking video of. Really great to appreciate the still pictures as well as the video. You can also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a great week ahead, everybody, and we will see you at the park.